This Austrian engineer named Gaston Glock built a gun that's different. Polymer frame, striker-fired action, and no external safety. It's just simple and damn reliable. But here's what happened next. Every gun company on the planet started copying the design. Some improved it, some cheapened it, and some completely reimagined it. And here is every Glock-inspired handgun in the world. PSA Dagger. Palmetto State Armory Dagger takes the Gen 3 Glock pattern and adds features Glock should have included decades ago. Extended beaver tail, undercut trigger guard, aggressive grip texture that actually works. The gun also uses Gen 3 Glock internals, so the gun will always have support if it breaks. PSA basically gave you a better Glock frame at a lower price point. But there's a catch. Early production had trigger issues. Gritty reset, inconsistent break. Quality control wasn't perfect, but recent models fixed most problems, and you're still rolling the dice on fit and finish. Anderson Kiger 9C. Kiger 9C follows the same playbook as the Dagger with Gen 3 compatibility. The gun has CNC machined slide instead of cast. It has slightly better trigger out of the box than Glock, and it has more aggressive grip texture that some love and others hate. The trigger pull is about 4 pounds 8 ounces, slightly lighter than Glock's typical 5 to 6 pounds. In essence, the Kiger 9C offers a factory-built, customized Glock with improved ergonomics and slide work, appealing to shooters who want a Gen 3 compatible pistol with upgraded features out of the box. Taurus G3 series. Taurus took a different approach. Instead of copying Glock exactly, they built their own striker-fired system. Manual thumb safety, restrike capability. Loaded chamber indicator so you can feel it to know if it's loaded or not in low-light situations. The G3 works. The reliability improved dramatically from earlier Taurus pistols. But it feels different because it has a longer trigger pull and a different grip angle. And proprietary magazines also cost more than Glock mags. It's budget-friendly, but it's nowhere near the Glock ecosystem. Smith & Wesson NP 2.0. Smith & Wesson has learned from their mistakes from the past. The original MNP had striker problems, extraction issues, mushy triggers that felt like pulling through sand. The 2.0 fixed everything. When compared with Glock, the MNP9 2.0 offers a more 1911-like grip angle and a slimmer profile. Its 4 back straps allow a custom fit that Glock's standard frame lacks, and many shooters appreciate the improved trigger over earlier MNP models. And they even introduced a steel chassis version for rigidity. Other improvements also include better triggers with better reset. And they also added an aggressive grip texture that rivals custom stippling. Koenig TP9 series. Their popular TP9SF comes with features you'd expect on guns costing twice as much. The TP9 series competes with Glock and other duty pistols by offering a smooth, light trigger at a lower price. Many shooters compare the TP9SF directly to the Glock 17 due to its similar dimensions, but the TP9's trigger is often praised for being crisper out of the box. The TP9SF provides an affordable route into full-size 9mm pistols with features available from the factory. Ruger Security 9. The Security 9 uses a hammer-fired system instead of striker-fired, but it looks and feels like a Glock competitor. The frame is glass-filled nylon, and the pistol uses a bladed trigger safety along with a manual thumb safety. The Security 9's dimensions and magazine capacity put it in the same size class as the Glock 19. Its hammer-fired action yields a longer, more revolver-like trigger pull, and Ruger incorporates both manual and trigger safeties for added security. The Security 9 lacks the modularity and extensive aftermarket of Glock. It serves as a practical, affordable choice for those who prefer an internal hammer and manual safety over the simplicity of striker-fired designs. Walther PDP. This is where things get interesting. Walther didn't just copy Glock. They improved it. The PDP has the best factory trigger in the striker-fired world. Crisp break that often factory Glocks don't offer, and short reset. And, of course, it has a consistent trigger pull weight. Ergonomics are exceptional. Aggressive grip texture, natural point of aim, palm swell that fits most hands perfectly. The slide serrations actually work for manipulation. It's what happens when German engineering meets modern manufacturing. But here's the problem. Aftermarket support is fairly limited, and magazines are also a bit harder to find. In a crisis scenario, you're not going to find PDP parts at most gun stores. CZP-10 series. The Czech P10C has a lower bore axis than the Glock, which means more accurate follow-up shots and less perceived muzzle flip. The trigger is excellent straight from the factory. Interchangeable backstraps. High undercut for better grip. The P10F stretches the platform to full size. Longer sight radius, higher capacity, same excellent trigger and ergonomics. CZIT builds guns for shooters, not accountants. Quality is exceptional, but you pay for it. HNK VP9. Heckler & Koch's VP9 combines the company's experience with the P30 into a striker-fired design. This is the company that makes the iconic HK MP5 and USP. HK emphasizes that the VP9's striker system provides a light pull trigger and that the grip can be configured in 27 different ways by swapping backstraps and side panels. The VP9's trigger has a short take-up, crisp break, and positive reset, which the company claims is unequaled in any production striker-fired handgun. Although Glock pistols are lighter and have more aftermarket support, the VP9 appeals to shooters who prioritize trigger quality and custom-fit ergonomics over simplicity. FN509. FN developed this for the military's modular handgun system competition. Even though they lost to Sig Sauer, but the 509 is still a very good handgun. The full-size model weighs about 26.9 ounces, measures 7.4 inches long, 5.56 inches high, and roughly about 1.5 inches wide. If you didn't know, FN makes the M249, M240 Bravo, and various military big guns, and one of their most iconic firearms is the FN57. So, like the Glock 17, the FN509 is a polymer-framed 9mm pistol without an external safety. FN's design, however, places emphasis on duty use. The grip texture is more aggressive and interchangeable. Backstraps allow a custom fit. Its cold, hammer-forged barrel and longer sight radius may appeal to shooters who prioritize durability and precision. While aftermarket support is smaller than Glock's, the FN509 offers a polished, duty-ready platform that competes directly with established service pistols. The headline were the SIG P320. The 320 won the military contract for good reason, but not recently. This gun has the worst safety track record, and recently certain military command has put an immediate stop on issuing this gun as a service handgun, because it has major tolerance issues and the gun can go off on its own. The quality control completely screwed up a huge batch that are currently out there. But this gun is supposed to be built around the fire control unit, which means you can swap grip modules, slides, and barrels to create different configurations. So, if you want a compact for carry and a full size for duty, well, you can have just one gun and just swap the parts. And the modularity design is brilliant, but until the safety issue is fixed, stay away from this gun and don't take any chances. Springfield Echelon. Springfield's newest entry combines a steel chassis with modular grip modules like the SIG P320. The variable interface system can mount up to 30 different optics. It also has the low-bore axis for better muzzle control. And it has aggressive grip texture on the factory frame. But it's trying to be everything to everyone. This gun is still too new to judge long-term reliability. Aftermarket support is minimal as of now, and the price is a bit high for an unproven platform, but only time will tell. Ruger RXM developed with Magpul. The RXM uses a removable fire control module like the P320. It's fairly new and it has no long-term data. The aftermarket support is currently unknown, but Ruger builds reliable guns and Magpul knows ergonomics. Shadow Systems MR920. Shadow Systems MR920 is a refined Glock clone designed for concealed carry. It is built on a textured polymer frame and uses a 1740 stainless steel slide with directional serrations and cutouts. Depending on the model, the MR920 weighs about 21.5 ounces, and the overall length just under 8 inches and a height of approximately 4 3/4 inches. The pistol comes with a flat-face trigger rated at 4.5 to about 5 pounds. The front sight uses a green outline tritium insert, while the rear sight is serrated black steel instead of plastic sights. ZEV OZ9. ZEV makes custom Glock parts. The OZ9 is their complete pistol. Steel chassis, replaceable grip modules, custom slides and barrels, 4-pound trigger. It's a race gun disguised as a duty pistol. but the price point is way too much for your average gun owners. Lone Wolf LTD-19. Lone Wolf has made Glock aftermarket parts for decades. Their LTD-19 combines their experience into a complete pistol. The aluminum frame is the selling point. It's lighter than polymer and it's more rigid than steel. But holster options are fairly limited, and the price is a bit high and they are also not readily available. So it's a niche product for people who want something different. Steyr M9A2MF. The Steyr M9A2MF is an Austrian polymer-framed pistol that evolved from Steyr's earlier M series. It uses a modular frame that lets shooters adjust the backstrap and side panels to fit their hand, and it has a very low bore axis designed to reduce muzzle rise. The company offers the medium-sized M9A2 variant with a 4-inch barrel, a 7.4-inch overall length, and a 17-round magazine capacity. The M9A2's trigger is crisp, and the modular grip can be tailored to the shooter's hand. Erix Delta Gen 2. Erix is a Slovenian manufacturer whose Delta line was inspired by the Glock pistols. The Gen 2 models are striker-fired, polymer-framed pistols sold in sizes comparable to Glock 17 and or the 19 models, and they come from the factory with optics-ready slides and interchangeable backstraps. So, the Delta Gen 2 M has a 4-inch barrel, an overall length of about 7 inches, and a weight of roughly 1 pound 11 ounces. Its standard magazine holds 15 rounds of 9mm ammunition, and the slide width measures 1.09 inches. Making it slightly slimmer than a Glock 19. The Erix pistols also fit in some Glock holsters, which eases the transition for Glock users. The Delta Gen 2 provides similar handling and reliability with refinements such as aggressive slide serrations and better grip texture. Ball rates the Tomahawk barrel at 4.02 inches and a weight of roughly 560 grams, that's roughly about 19.8 ounces, without the magazine. For those seeking a Glock-like experience with factory-installed modern features, the Erix Delta is an appealing alternative. Ball Armory AXE. Israeli company Ball Armory introduced the AXE series as an upgraded Glock clone. Built on a polymer frame with a steel slide, the X-Tomahawk variant features Tomahawk-style slide serrations, lightning cuts, a fluted barrel, and a factory-flared magwell. The slide used an RMR pattern optics cut, and the pistol comes standard with a flat-face trigger and reversible magazine release. Other X variants include Compact C and full-size FS versions with capacities up to 17 rounds. The slide and frame rails differ slightly from Glock, so slides are not fully interchangeable. Bull designed the X to accept many Glock components similar to a Gen 3 Glock, like the barrel, sights, magazine release, slide lock and backplate can be swapped with Glock parts. The IWI Meseda is an Israeli-designed striker-fired pistol built around a modular steel chassis. The design prioritizes recoil control and ease of use. The barrel sits low in the slide, providing a low bore axis for reduced muzzle rise. The Meseda is chambered in 9mm with magazine capacities of 10 or 17 rounds and a 4.1-inch cold hammer-forged barrel. Like the Glock, the Meseda is a striker-fired, polymer-framed pistol, but it differentiates itself with fully ambidextrous controls and a smoother trigger. These dimensions place it very close in size to the Glock 19, and that its ergonomics offer a more neutral grip angle compared to the steeper Glock grip. Beretta APX A1. Beretta's APX A1 is an evolution of the original APX duty pistol. It maintains a striker-fired mechanism and polymer frame, but improves the ergonomics with a deeper trigger guard undercut and modular grip panels. The A1 uses a 4.25-inch cold hammer forged barrel and offers multiple magazine capacities. These are 10, 15, or 17 rounds mag, depending on the market. APX A1 is slightly larger and heavier than a Glock 19, but offers a different feel. The APX's extra size makes it a robust duty pistol, whereas the Glock is easier to conceal. Shooters who prefer a larger grip and more substantial feel may gravitate toward the APX A1. Rock Island STK-100. The STK-100 looks and operates like a Glock 17, only the frame is aluminum, and it has less of that snappy kick and it absorbs more recoil than the polymer frame. It uses a 4.49-inch barrel, has an overall length of 7.79 inches, and weighs about 28.8 ounces unloaded. Armscor constructed the frame by mating two precision-milled aluminum halves, resulting in a clamshell design that feels solid in the hand. The STK-100 is intentionally compatible with many Glock components. And this just means owners can use widely available Glock magazines and even mount aftermarket Glock slides on the STK-100 frame. Polymer 80 PFC9. The 80% Kit Company makes complete pistols with a 1911 grip angle design. The gun also features extended beaver tail to prevent slide cuts for people with big hands. And the double undercut trigger guard helps with gripping. But quality control can be very inconsistent. And if you want a reliable gun, you can skip this one, to be honest. So if you want the best trigger, consider a Walther PDP. If you want modularity, look at the Springfield Echelon. And if you want value, the Canik variant guns are so underrated and it deserves some love. But if you want maximum parts availability, proven reliability, and the largest aftermarket ecosystem, Glock remains king. Sometimes boring wins.